so excited. Hey, babe. Aren't you? I wish you could be here so you could clown with me, but you know, duty calls. Bring somebody. Tell somebody. Come on, y'all. Okay.
I do. They don't stop. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's the best problem ever. Shoot, what you gonna say? I mean, you know, that's what it do. Do what it do. Okay, I'm ready, Cole. When you are. Cause
Oh,
I
this
don't.
is you.
Oh, I gotta. Yeah. Wait, hold it. Okay, don't even give me an empty fork. Oh my God, come on, you know the rules.
Are you apostle yet?
Oh my
What are we?
No,
what are we
just my good government name.
Bishop?
Yeah. My good government. See?
Overseer, grand. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh! Only my friends can do this. Only mine. Only mine. They so wonderful. They are absolutely wonderful. So Facebook Live. Yep. Bring somebody. Tell somebody. Donald sends Denise on the air. Then this should be awesome and random at the same time.
Yes. All right, very well.
Very much so. Okay. Very much so. This is gonna be real special. Real special, real special. We could just hop right on in. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Yes, Lordy. We can talk about this too. Yeah, maybe I can learn some stuff out of here. She's gonna teach me something today, y'all, about radio. Yeah, and it's gonna be random, Donald. Real random. Just out of nowhere random. So please share. My favorite person on the planet. I know, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. Denise is like been one of my favorites forever and ever. And never,
not that
never.
old.
And never, never. No, she's really not. But
Forever.
at the same time, yeah, I love her.
5 years. I'm only 22.
You too? Plus 2?
22.
Plus 4?
Wait, that,
plus 8. Okay.
My dad said he's 36.
Oh,
and he would disown us if we pass him. So I'm staying at 22.
Oh God!
And still make him a teenage dad, but it's possible.
Yeah, well, yeah. At the rate things are going now, that is very, very possible. Yes. Very possible. But we here. We're inviting you to invite somebody, tell somebody, bring somebody. Skype to right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Did you want me to share the show to your page?
Okay. Well, no. Okay. I don't. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think my security. I don't think you'll be able to.
Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it set up where nobody can just post whatever they want.
No, sir.
That works. That works. Somebody tried to imitate me a couple of days ago. I'm like, really though? You're a fraud and imposter. Stop it. Wait, you come on my page, you're gonna get saved.
Is this about the book? I mean, I'm sure she'll ask about the book.
I sure am.
I don't know.
We're gonna have some general conversation here, some life conversation. I got Denise. I gotta milk this.
Wow.
I'm sitting with famous folk. I'm sitting with famous folk. I'm loving every minute of this, man. I got a syndicated radio show host. Look at that I listen to on the weekends all the time. Yeah. Yes, we are. We're taking questions, and you can call in, but you only get one.
Donald can't ask nothing.
You get 1 minute to ask your question. As soon as we air,
do we get to vet these people?
Get them. It's Donald, one of those people.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody to test these questions out.
Oh my God, we got to see the questions first.
Yes.
Oh, okay. We're going to audit the questions first. That is hilarious, Donald. She know you. Uh-oh, here I go.
See? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about already.
Oh my goodness. Hilarious. Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna take some phone calls, but as soon as we get started, see, it's not my fault now. I was
No, yeah, we
ready.
blame Coy now.
Okay. As soon as we get ready, we're gonna throw out the phone number and you can call in.
Call now. What's the number?
301-429-9247. That number again is 301-429-9247. And you can call in. I shouldn't get a beat with that. Yeah, we should have had a beat. Okay, we should have had a
seconds to
beat.
come up with a beat.
No, we ain't
That's
got
what Donald's for. He's an artist. Donald, give us a beat.
15 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
10 seconds.
All right. Thank you, sir.
5, 4, 3, look up, 2. Here we go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning to you all. Man, I'm so excited today. I'm like so excited. I feel like a kid in a candy store right now. Like, I want that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And man, I wow. When I say I'm excited, I am excited. I am so excited. I'm excited about all my guests, but I have watched this lady, this woman, this friend for years. I've watched her from afar, and she not even know. I've listened to her. I'm one of her Facebook spies. I go and see what she gonna say next. But love her to life. I promise you, I love her to life. So all my shout outs to all Denise fans. I know y'all out there, Donald. You one of them. Share it. Please share it. We're gonna have some fun, some conversation, and we're gonna talk about some life issues. So come on in, bring somebody, share it with somebody. Share to your right, share to your left, whatever needs to do, whatever you need to do do it. We take some phone calls. That number again is 301-429-9247. Shout out to my husband. Love you, babe. So we just gonna get it started. Let's get it popping. So Denise,
Yes.
Man, she gonna teach me how to do that radio voice thing. I'm so excited about that. I just want to know how to do the radio, that smooth radio voice thing.
Practice.
Is that what it is? What's up, Kawana?
It's all about controlling your body.
Controlling. Listen, Linda. Right now, I'm so excited. It ain't no.
It's all about controlling your body. I mean, if you want to go there, we can go there.
Okay, all right.
It's all about controlling.
That sounds about right for me. I'm nervous and excited because she already done checked me. Just let me put that out there. She already done checked me.
No, I didn't.
It's 11:31. You're late. So she's teaching me. She's teaching me. So Denise, tell the people who don't know about you all about you.
Just Denise.
No, that ain't gonna work. Okay.
Just Denise.
You just Denise and what?
Carolyn and Jimmy's daughter.
See, this is what I'm saying right here. This is what I'm saying right here.
I'm a veteran of the entertainment and radio industry, inspiration and gospel, but in general, because I've done all formats of radio and entertainment. But the bulk of my career has been in inspiration and gospel, which I love because it allows me the opportunity. In gospel and inspiration radio, it's the only format that you have the opportunity to really affect and change your life. When I did children's radio or urban radio, hip hop, R&B, when I've done those formats, everybody's about entertainment, party, make me laugh, make me smile. Mm-hmm. But in gospel and inspiration, that's the only format where somebody will call you up and be like, you know what, I was getting ready to blow my brains out, but you said this, and so it's been my passion for almost 3 decades now. And I'm only 22.
Right, in her mind. Her body looking, but in her mind. So Denise came with a gift, y'all. She brought me a gift. She's gonna teach me. Hallelujah. She's gonna teach me. Let's talk about the book, and then we're gonna go to our caller.
Okay.
I think that might be Donald, though.
I feel like it's setting me up already. Yeah.
So let's talk.
It's my newest book. I've published 4 books. This one's called Pass the Mic: Stories and Lessons of Life in Radio. As I began to approach my 30 years of radio, this time it was about 25 years. I just wanted to go back and look at some things as I begin to train and teach others about goal setting and how to achieve any and every goal. Part of that process is reflection. You've got to take the time to look back and get those pearls that we keep leaving on the table. We were hurt. We want to get as far away from the hurt as possible. Right. If we enjoy the moment, it was like we celebrated, but what's the next moment? And we don't turn around and look back and say, what made that moment what it was? What did it reveal about who I am? What did I learn about how I behave in certain situations, about the people around me? We don't go back and get those jewels that honestly we earn through our sweat, through our tears, through our hard work. Those are lessons that are ours. Right. Now, just because we walk away from doesn't change the fact that they're ours. And so I began to kind of go through some of the scenarios. I've been very fortunate in these many years to encounter a lot of people, people who, some people wish they were in the room with those folks. And I've had opportunities to not just be in the room, but to work with them, call them colleagues, ask them questions, and get great information from them. And so I just put some of those stories in the book and the lessons that not just the stories, because it's really about what I got from them and hopefully somebody else can get from as well.
I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm looking forward to some of the lessons and the things that's in it. It's appealing. Okay, line one. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would be Donald? She call you setup. What's your question, Donald, or your comment?
Could be David, but yes, I am Donald.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So my question is for Dr. Hill. How important is it for especially upcoming artists in this day and time to have some sort of relationship with radio, or feel that that's no longer?
Oh, so the question, as I understand it, for upcoming independent artists, great question. Thank you, Donald. How important is it for new artists to have a relationship with radio? So in the past, just to give some context, in the past, radio has kind of been the thing to help break artists, their music, make people most aware of them. Yes, people watch television. Yes, people on computers, but you're in your car when you travel to work, when you come home from work, when you're sitting at your desk. And so it was just a way for people to get that repetition. Every 2 hours they're playing the hottest songs and things like that. So artists knew that they needed to get on radio to get themselves and their product in front of an audience. The entire communication and media industry the landscape is just completely different now. The internet, at first, cable was just an additional thing. You had radio, television, cable, right? Now you've got the internet, which opens you up to the entire world. Right. In addition, you've got these technological changes that are taking place where stuff is starting to disappear. Right. Like if you ask people in a room how many actually pay a cable bill now, the number is dwindling so much. It's like, I got a Fire Stick, I got a Roku stick, I'm just going to stream everything.
Exactly.
And so the same thing holds true with radio. Folks are finding a world of stuff that was not available to them through terrestrial radio, meaning the radio station that you can just cut on. People start going on Spotify and going on Pandora, and they're like, man, what's that song? What's that? How come I don't hear that on my? And they start getting frustrated with their regular radio station. And so times are changing, things are changing. You've got podcasting for people who wanted to have their voice heard but wasn't allowed on talk radio. You've got all these internet radio stations for independent artists who didn't get opportunities on these major media conglomerates. So is it still important for independent, to answer your question, is it still important for independent artists to have a relationship with radio? My answer is it's important for independent artists, independent authors, anybody with a business, anybody who wants to get themselves in front of an audience, to find out who that audience is that they're supposed to serve, and then find out where their attention is. That's the key, because their attention may not be on radio. Their attention may be on YouTube. Their attention may be to focus on, Hulu. It could be on some Experience on Demand is a new Black-owned streaming service. It could be on that. You got to find out who your audience is and where their attention is, and get in front of it. I have a great business coach named Antonio T. Smith Jr. He teaches that all the time. What is your audience looking at? Get in front of them on that platform that they're looking at, and that's how it may be radio. It's good to have relationships with any and everyone who has a potential to influence your ability to succeed, because your network, of course, determines your net worth. So the more expansive it is, the more you have the ability to generate revenue. But just in general, whatever your audience is looking at, and that's changing more and more every day, that's where you need to be in front of, and that's who you need to establish the relationships with. Is it traditional radio? Perhaps, but maybe not.
So Donald now says, is it necessary to have management now that things are changing?
Are you asking me questions for you, Donald?
Oh my
Listen,
goodness.
I've it's important to have people on your team that know your vision, support your vision, and have the ability to influence its success. Whether you call that person a manager, whether you call that person a promoter, whether you do work for hire, and so you don't have a manager, you just get people as you need them. That's up to you. Wow. But you just need people who believe in your vision, are sold out to it, and are willing to support it.
Wow. Yeah. So what is the rejection or acceptance aspect of Donald's questions as it regards to having solo artists be on the radio via internet or podcast or those kind of things? What are the acceptances and the rejections of?
Well, if you have a limited mindset and your definition of success is that I get played on the radio, then if you get played, you feel like you're accepted by the industry, not even just that city or that radio station, just the industry. I've worked with artists before, and I tell the story all the time. I've worked with artists, and I'm like, here's our plan. This is where we're going to go. We're going to do this, this, and this. We're going to hit this country. We're going to go to this convention. We're going to hit this. But I need to get played on the radio. Why aren't I being played on the radio? I'm like, oh my gosh, you are holding up progress.
Right, right.
But I get the ego. We want that experience of, being in the car, turn on the radio. I'm like, okay, listen, I'm going to call a friend of mine and I'm going to have them play your song one time. I need you to be in the car at 5:52 so you can hear your song. So we can get this out your system and actually go make an impact and make some money,
Wow.
And so, but people feel that and they identify that as meaning, okay, now you accept me. But then once that wears off, they're looking for the next thing. And since they haven't created a strategy for how to get to their ultimate definition of whatever success is, then they just keep looking for these little individual wins and never tie them to an overall strategy. So then they end up feeling rejected at the end because they didn't get the outcome they thought that they could get. Yeah.
So would that still reflect even more with radio? Or is the acceptance level with radio any different from a solo artist or a group, or
is what type of artist you are, or author, or pastor, or business owner? It doesn't matter. The process is the same, and I'm a brand builder mindset person where I'm not looking for this one win or you to buy this one book, or it's an overall brand awareness thing. And so if the overall picture isn't fulfilled, then it doesn't matter if I sell 100,000 copies of one book, So
Got it.
And it doesn't matter for if you try to blow up in radio and you don't look at the other avenues or ways to impact your community, then you can be the greatest. You'll be a big fish in a small pond. Which unfortunately we're I know this is worldwide, but we're in the Washington D.C. area, and you and I know there's so many people that are like that.
Yeah.
They want to be this big fish in this 30 by 30 square mile block. And believe that is the world. I dominate DC. Okay, great. I'm gonna be in Dubai while you'll be in DC.
Right.
And I'll catch you in Africa next week while you in DC, and I'll see you in California while you in DC. It's a global marketplace now.
But so when you say, how was it when you first started out?
When I first started out, it was very segmented. You were in your individual community. Everything was about local. Everything was about making sure the people who you saw every day on the street, even though they didn't know who you were in radio because there wasn't social media. So you had a certain amount of anonymity where you just could be invisible. You could stand right next to somebody and they won't know. Have you heard about Denise on the radio? I'm like, really?
Yeah, exactly.
You like that show?
Exactly.
I guess she all right.
Yeah.
Do that. I used to do that all the time. I was
really?
Yes, people would hire me to MC concerts, and I would just sit there, and only the organizer would know I'm there. And I'm just sit there They're like, who's this? Have you seen her? I'm like, listen, I don't know. And then they're announcing our MC for the night, Denise Hill. Excuse me.
I gotta go.
You're right up.
Oh my God. I when I started doing this, my mindset was, who's going to accept this nobody on a radio or an internet or anywhere else for that matter? And then so I kind of built my little network, and my friends were like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? People are waiting to hear what you have to say. But in my mind, it was, here comes that rejection field, and this is just not going to happen. And so I got a phone call one day, and they were like, well, people want to hear your voice. And so I got this radio deal for you. You're going to take it or not. And let's try it and see what happens. Unbeknownst to me, that people would actually accept it. And I thought, and you take that stand back like, well, how long will that last? And so now it's lasted a lot longer than I anticipated, because I only anticipated a good 90 days. We are almost like 5 months now, 6 months now. And so I anticipated that rejection. It's like, yep, they're going to come that one time and they're not going to come anymore. But now, since it's a little bit clearer, it's a building, the foundation, and then there's a building of everything. And it's what you do to bring in, everybody else. I branded A Night with the King, and now I'm trying to brand intentional. And I try to keep them totally separate, but somewhere down the line they come together. So
that's
tell
how
me,
you build a brand.
But I thought that you could just do them separately. So that's
no. Like, your main purpose is what?
To be broadcast, to speak to people who need to hear either thus what saith the Lord, or hear an encouraging word, or hear something inspiring.
What does that person look like?
That person could look like anybody.
We're gonna do a coaching session.
Okay, good. Yay!
What does that person look like?
It could be anybody.
When you close your eyes and God says, speak to this type of person, who's that? What does that person look like? Is it a woman? Is it a man? Are they middle-aged? Are they older? Are they young? Are they minority? Are they majority? Are they international?
Because I usually get hemmed up with any. I'm telling you, I was in Walmart. Perfect example. I was in Walmart with minding my Jesus business, and this lady, she was doing her job. She's bringing up stuff, and then I just looked at her, and then the Holy Ghost was like, "Say," and I was like,
That's you to her. Who comes to you?
Oh my God, more women.
Boom. So
more women.
You and your energy. We know that that's the Holy Spirit, but the energy that you radiate it resonates with women.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's say your purpose is to impact women with principles from that are scripturally based.
Right.
Okay. If that's your purpose, everything you do is going to line up with that. It all ties together, and that keeps you focused. So if you look at, for example, Tide, what is Tide's purpose?
Detergent. Clean.
To clean clothes. Not just to clean, because you're not using Tide in your bathtub.
No.
Right.
No.
The purpose of Tide is to clean clothes. They started with a powder.
Right.
Right. Then went to a liquid.
Right.
Then they went to a clear liquid.
Right.
Then they went to a pod.
Yeah.
Then they went to a pen.
Yeah.
Then all of it is still lines within the purpose to clean clothes. You're not going to see Tide selling cars tomorrow.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes sense.
So A Night with the King ties in with this broadcast, ties in with the books, ties in with the retreats, ties in with and while men will be blessed, while children will be blessed, while young folks will be blessed, you will attract women who need to hear and be supported by the energy that God's radiating for you.
Wow. Okay. Lesson number 1. I got it. I'm gonna make
That's
sure
how you build a brand.
I played it. Yeah, because I just like I said, my biggest thing is that rejection part. Yeah. How do you handle how would I normally my rejection is fight or flight, and it's normally flight.
Yep.
And if it ain't working, you just let it go and don't deal with it anymore. Like you said, you just, yeah, okay, I'm gonna put that back there. But that was me. It's like, no, that's not gonna work.
Can I speak to that?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Not trying to overstep my boundaries.
No, I'm gonna need you to overstep.
Let's continue the coaching session. All right.
Okay. Coach me.
So when the short answer to that, if it was a question, is that you got to get to a point where you don't care. That's the short answer. Let's back into it. When our concern is this going to be received by people? That's us. That's outer court thinking. Right. That's us wanting to be received, wanting to be accepted. Imagine this is a faith-based program, so I can talk like this. You got holies of holies, inner court, outer court, right? The folks in the outer court wanted to be close to God. Right. They wanted to be connected. They wanted to see him, but they could not because of the standards set up, because of the belief system, because of the structure, all of that stuff. So they went through all these people hoping that they could get to some residual of being connected, right? So when we're out here like, man, I hope the people will receive it. I hope that it'll be accepted. I hope we're all standing out here like, we're going to throw this out there and hope that the faith carries it, or this middle man, the Holy Spirit, the faith, the somebody who will share it on their Facebook page, whatever. This middle thing will carry it to the ultimate destination. And so when we say, I don't care, I'm walking through the crowd, through this middle crowd, and I'm going straight there, period, paragraph, then we see the results. Okay. Because it's not about us at that point. It's about ensuring that the thing is done.
Okay. Light bulb just went off.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about us.
Yeah. Right. And so, yeah, because the more I made it about the rejection, the more I made it about me.
Yes.
Instead of saying
this needs to be done. Somebody needs to hear this.
Okay. I
don't know who they are.
I don't
know where they are. This is an international. We're not even going to say that this is from the DMV. This is an international show. It's in the name. It's on the line for anybody in the world. I don't know who it's for, but I'm going to say it. God bless you and good night. I hope you receive it. If not, that's not my problem. I said it.
Right. And it's funny that you say that because I'm now learning how to deal with different things that come through. Like some of them sting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, boy, wait a minute. Let me backpedal. But then when I find myself backpedaling, Dwayne is like, no, nope, keep going. And it's like, and then I'm mad at him because he's pushing because I want to.
You're so fortunate to have that support.
Yeah.
Imagine being a single woman.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
That's a ministry all itself, being able to stay encouraged and motivated and inspire other people and then go home and there's nobody there to help fill you up.
Right. It's like you pour out so much, and then
it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree
Keep
with
pushing
that.
It, Dwayne.
Yeah, and he does. He keeps pushing, and I'm like, pushing back, but it makes sense, and I don't tell him that, but now he knows. So that I'm really listening to him, but flesh want to like, no, man, I'm gonna need you to not do this because this. No, I don't want to. But this is a good lesson for me. This is a good coach. Yay, Denise. This is a good coaching
keep it all within
session.
the vision. They all tie together.
Yeah, because I've had somebody to even say to me, why don't you just get off of WBGR and do a podcast in your house? I was like, what? No, can't do that because that would make me limited. I don't want to be limited.
How would that make you limited? We'll talk about that off because I love Lionel and I love BGR. So I don't want to sound like it's anything contrary.
No,
but everything is available to everyone.
I don't want to do that anyway.
Like I have this series going on right now. I'm not your pastor, but I do have a word.
I love that. As a matter of fact, I was going to talk about that. I was going to bring that up because
But today I talk about tools, and there are so many tools out there. The key is just what's the right one for you. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got 5 cameras going on right now. And at some point, you got to step back and analyze, am I more effective on here or here or here? And then that's the direction to go full force, to kind of push everything in that direction, as opposed to, this is just on because I feel like it's supposed to be, and this one.
Yeah.
So that's that reflection process that we even started out talking about, right?
Right.
Full circle.
Right. Well, it came full circle. You're absolutely right. And I never thought about it. I think as it regards to being on the air, I think I needed that step.
Yeah.
To
Absolutely.
push me out there. I needed to know that it was safe ground to step out, and because truly this is a real true testament of stepping out on faith, because, and again, Gwen would have said, not even. Hear me when I'm preaching somewhere, but that's all you're gonna get.
Oh, wow.
But and then to do this, it's made me comfortable with who I am now. It's made me a lot more confident in who I am now. To the tune where somebody sent me something and told me I was arrogant, and I was like, "No, I'm not arrogant. I'm confident in what I know."
You responded.
Yeah.
I would be like, "Thank you." I responded.
Oh my God!
Everybody has an opinion and they have a right to them. It doesn't mean it has to be mine. That's your opinion.
Right.
You hold on to that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I've gotten it
your opinion.
I do kind of clap back, but I guess I need, I need not do that anymore, because it just, I'm like, the nerve of you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, when you really embrace the people who are embracing you, you don't have to, because they will for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I posted something online about the first one I got, because I really didn't know how to handle it, and it was, to me it was a form of rejection, because I didn't know how to handle it, and so I posted it, and it said something about I thought I was all of that, and because I'm doing X, Y, and Z and whatever it was, and I ended up deleting it. I think you said delete that, and so I ended up deleting it. And so the people who reached out on it, it made me feel like, okay, your supporters, don't worry about that one person.
That's it.
And so now I'm coming to myself where it's like, okay, and I'll read it and delete it, because I in the back of my mind, in the back of my mind, I hear you say, delete that, and so I delete, and so I still get a lot of them, and yes, they still burn and they still stink. But I'm telling you, I hear you say, delete that. And so it's like, okay, and then I'll just delete it, because I'm like, here, you've been in radio forever, or communications forever. And who would know best, than somebody who's been there and has done it already. And I was like, oh, okay. And then
focus on magnifies.
True.
And so, yeah, that didn't need to stay there and just absorb more and more energy and more energy. No.
So diffuse it by deleting it. You heard it from Denise.
Don't give it energy. Don't give it attention.
Yeah, so I get, that's what I'll
Now, if it's coming from somebody who loves you and has your genuine interests at heart, then again, reflect. What did I do to make you feel as though I was behaving that way, so that I can correct my behavior? But if it's just random folks, you haven't talked to me all year. And one thing you want to say, finally, congratulations on your endeavors, but
no,
now you think you're all out. Okay,
it was. I mean, I often wonder, how in the world did you? Because you're like the only close person I know that. You listen to everybody else, but I was like, how in the world did she handle all of this? It's a lot to try to take in and try to handle, and still keep pushing, and still be positive, and still try to get what God wants you to do out, and without feeling some kind of way about it. And then it's like, oh my God, do y'all go through this all the time? Which is why, I mean, and like you said, people have their opinions. Have your opinion, because now that I think about it, opinions are like labels. Everybody got one. So why am I? This is an eye opener for me.
And it's theirs, and you respect it. I'm sorry you feel that way. God bless you. There's nothing if you convinced yourself that I'm that way, it's not my responsibility to convince you that I'm not. That's up to you to determine. All I can do is behave a particular way. But I mean, it is challenging. It is hard. It's not just, what you say. It's how you say it. It's, if they see you, what are you wearing today? Why is your hair that way today? I mean, it's any and every little thing that somebody can and will have an opinion about, and you just cannot give it energy. what you focus on is going to magnify. And I've been very open about my challenges with depression for the bulk of my life. And I'm doing what I need to do to keep my sanity.
Right.
And you and your negativeness is not part of that equation.
Right.
So
Right.
if I want to stay sane, this is why a lot of people in entertainment, a lot of people whose lives are about making sure everybody else is okay, the suicide rate is like through the roof.
Yeah.
It's because it's like it's so hard to maintain your own happiness, and for people to see that you might need assistance maintaining that happiness, that it becomes overwhelming and you feel like you just can't do it anymore, and it's easier to give up than to not. So yeah, you cannot give energy or attention to that. There's too much energy that needs to be directed towards the things that are producing fruit and actually impacting and affecting lives. And so I don't have energy to spend over here.
Right.
And again, if it's coming from somebody credible who I need to really be checked by, not a problem.
Right.
But just the average random person, those are going to be small tests. How do you handle it? God bless you. I mean, as a communication person, you understand the process of communication. You've got a sender who has a message, who sends it to a receiver, and there's a whole lot that goes on in that process. And if you understand the process, then you can very easily, for lack of a better word, manipulate it or diffuse certain types of communication so that the message comes across differently. There was a post that I posted after maybe 2 years ago now. There was a security guard who like body slammed a young girl in high school.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
She was
one.
on the desk.
Yeah.
She was just sitting there, and they wanted her to leave, and he slammed her.
He slammed her. Yeah.
And I put out a post about that. And if you want to say I was bashing, I spoke out against the teacher. And as an educator, I felt like I could do that because we have so many tools at our disposal that we can. You don't have to go straight to, well, you don't want to do what I'm telling you to do. Call security, call the principal, or go to the office, or no. Listen, there's so many different ways to work the communication process so you get a particular desired result at the end of it. And that particular one didn't. And there was people that went in on me. How dare you? You're not even a teacher. You can't. I'm like, okay, you didn't hear me first say I am a teacher.
Right. Absolutely.
But the whole conversation was, well, I appreciate your opinion and I thank you for your response to my question. I do wish that you, however, could have answered in a particular way. Well, I didn't think that you, again, I agree and I thank you. And by the third time, he's like, well, you're right. I understand. I see it your way now, and I appreciate your time.
Oh, my God.
Right? And now people are like, well, dang, you're right. If you can diffuse somebody in your text, and at the end of it, they're apologizing to you, then there's something to the fact that we can use communication to get a different result if we use communication differently. The problem is our educational system in America believes that if you know how to read and you know how to write, then you know how to communicate.
Right.
And so you don't learn anything about the communication process until you go to college and take a public speaking class.
Right.
And that's it's way too late by then.
Yeah, yeah. Way too late. I just think that communication is important either way.
Yeah.
Be it however you want to interpret it. I think it's important either way. But let's talk about you and I'm not your pastor, but I got
So it's interesting. I for those who might critique later, I am licensed and ordained. I was licensed and ordained in Brooklyn, New York, at a theological seminary out there, and I just don't throw it out much. Just like Donald when he called in, he said, "Doctor," I don't throw out that I have an honorary doctorate and all that stuff because it's not important to me. It might be important to somebody else. It's not important to me. But when I was on the radio on WKYS in Washington D.C., which is a hip hop station.
Right.
And I did Gospel in the Morning. It was a very popular show. Back then I was called the Gospel Lady. And this one guy called and was like, "Hey, Pastor." Like, "No, sir."
Run, Forrest.
No, sir. It's like, but he's like, "No, you don't understand. I work on Sundays and you're the only church that I get. So you're my pastor." And that resonated with me for so many years. And one of the reasons I got licensed and ordained was because this seminary wanted to give me this honorary doctorate, this D-Min. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even licensed and ordained. I've gone to MC at concerts and they wouldn't let me in the pulpit because I'm a woman and I don't have this credential and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That stuff's not important to me. They were like, listen, if that is important, we'll license and ordain you first. You do this little course, you do the things that you need to do. will get you licensed in ordained and then give you the doctorate. I was like, okay, that's fine. But it never, the fact that you have to kind of jump through these hoops sometimes in religion. I have shirts and a saying, relationship over religion, because they make you kind of, the process, the structure makes you kind of jump through hoops to be validated and accepted by whole groups of people. And it's like, I'm just not willing to jump through your hoops. And if you're telling me that this thing that I know is a good piece of information that you can apply to your life, you're not willing to listen to simply because I am not your pastor, or simply because I don't have these letters before or after my name, then you're going to be lost. Because every pastor's not saying every piece of thing. They got you on Sunday mornings because you're not coming back for Bible study, you're not coming back for prayer. They got you one day a week, and they're giving you one message to run with, but you got to live 7 days out that week. So if you're not willing to be fed by anybody else or anything else for that entire week, simply because they don't have that title, then you're gonna suffer. And so that just kept sticking with me. Listen, I'm not your pastor. Just put your guard down for a second. I'm readily admitting I am not your pastor, but I do have a word. You just take a second and listen to it. It might just be for you, and you might be able to apply it to your life. And so, just every other day, I just produce a new one.
I love it. I love it. I think one was a couple of days ago. I think you said something about looking back, and you mentioned it again. And I've been saying that to people like forever. It's like you're not supposed to stay back then. But at some point, you got to look back, see where God brought you from, and see how differently you're doing things now. But at the same time, people always say, you're supposed to forgive and forget. Absolutely not. The Bible never says to forget. It said to forgive. So, because if you forget, when that thing comes up again,
you a little bit different.
You won't remember it. You'll fall for it again. And so when you said that, I was like, wow, that one I had to share, because I had just finished saying that to somebody. And it's like, but you have to remember the stuff in your past. I mean, I'm not saying to go back there and dwell on it and stay there and dig a hole and bury yourself in it again. But what I am saying is that when you take that glance back, you got to, I remember being abused and putting myself in situations like that. Like even to this day, Dwayne is not allowed to slam the table at all, because in my mind, you know what's coming next. And so he's good with that, so it's like, no, because you need to remember stuff. You don't want to dwell on it, like I said, but you want to glance back. Oh no, I remember what happens after this. And then you just go from there. But people are so fast to say, forgive and forget. Absolutely not. Because I'm not going to forget having everlast written across my forehead. No. And you cannot do that. And I think, and even now, looking back on some of the messages that I've gotten and how controversial they say that I am. I'm now, I got it now. I think you just fell on me. I got it now. Yeah.
Fell on.
Yeah, you just fell on. Hey, glory. Because now it's like, really though? If I can bless X amount of people, then, sucks to be you. Because I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I know I need to do, what I was called to do, and why I was called. Because I didn't ask for this, I didn't call for this, I didn't pay for this, I didn't put it on layaway.
If you knew what it was going to cost, I wouldn't have.
What you saying? Oh my God! And the rejection that it costs, the acceptance that it costs, the people that it costs. My circle right now is, since God has been elevating, is getting so narrow. I can count them on one hand now, and I'm like, okay, God, when they gonna disappear? Because I guess it's because of where I'm going, and everybody can't handle my nakedness. You can tell me the truth.
Yeah, no.
But see, I was just telling my sister yesterday. I said I got a 3-strike rule.
Oh wow!
I will ask you 3 times. Do you really want me to keep it 100? And if they say yes, I say it again. It's like, are you absolutely sure?
Yeah.
You want me to keep it 100? And then they'll go, yeah. Okay, this is my last time. Are you sure? Because I'm finding out that people will say, yeah, they want you to keep it
And they
100,
don't.
but they really
Nope.
don't, because when you tell them what
They thought
it
your
is,
100 was going to completely agree with them.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, and then they wonder why, and then they look like a deer in the headlights when
Yeah.
you tell them, what's needed to be said or what said, and then you do it in the most kindest way, but at the same time, that rejection thing is like, ooh.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I asked you 3 different times.
Yeah.
How you want
them,
me to handle this?
What role am I playing here? Like, am I coming to me as the minister, as the sister, as the stranger, just looking on the outside in?
Mm-hmm.
When artists come with their new music, can you listen to this? Am I listening to it as a consumer, as a radio person, as a retail person? How am I listening to this? Because they're all different roles, which require different filters and different lenses, and people think you're just going to agree with them.
Yeah, no, I just don't think it's fair if I'm your yes man. You have your skirt stuck in your underwear while you just come out the bathroom, and I'm
Don't
supposed to tell you,
yeah, girl, go ahead.
I know.
And then you're wrong for letting them go
right,
out. It's like
right, and then
right.
and so I ask people that all the time, and then when I start telling them, what I need to say, it's like, and it's not mean, it's not harsh, it's just, okay, look, you asked, and this is
so what life coaches do. I'm gonna hip you to this one.
Okay, good.
All right. So this is what you do. What life coaches do is you have them answer their own questions through questions.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, I got this idea for a new business that I want to start, but I still haven't. I'm in debt, and my child about to go to college, and my husband about to leave me. Do you think I should go ahead and start this business? Well,
oh God, wait.
What is your financial state like right now? Well, I'm in the hole every month. So if you were to start the business, how would you fund the business? Well, maybe I could get a loan. Okay, so if you get a loan, will you have the money to pay for your child? No. So what do you think is the most important of it? By the end of it, you know what? Maybe I'll wait to start. There you go. You came to the answer. Not me. All I did was facilitate the thought process. That's what life coaches do.
Oh my God.
You facilitate the thought process.
Okay. All right. So the thought process.
Because sometimes we're just not able, we don't have the clarity to get to those points of reason and logic ourselves. We've got all types of emotion and stuff attached to things.
So will that make the person think you rejected them?
No, because I didn't come to the conclusion. You did.
You know how people shift the weight. They want to put it. They want to put it back on you when it's really them, and they just want to put it back on you. I just look. Let me ask you this: how was it with? How did you feel when you met Les?
Les Brown? Which time? So there's a story in that book, a whole chapter about Les. Where I first met Les when I was an intern at WYCB Radio before it was bought by Radio One. And him and Willie Jolly were hanging out with Winston Cheney. And so that's the first time I met Les and was introduced to this whole professional speaker business. Mm-hmm. His product and everything. I have everything. His whole tape series, Live Your Dreams, everything. And then fast forward, I was running a radio station in New York, WLIB, and he came up there to promote his a conference that he was doing. And we reconnected again. And we did a little bit of training, a little bit of work together, and then disappeared for some more years. And then the last time, about 3 years ago now, he was starting his training group. Les Brown Maximum Achievement Team is what it was called at that time. Now it's Les Brown Unlimited. And he was looking for some speakers to train and become certified, and then help certify others, et cetera, et cetera. And I was in that very first group. It's probably about 100 of us. That's all. No, not even that. It was probably about 50 of us as founding members of that part of the organization. And then I began to train his speakers and train other speakers and on and on. And now it's several, maybe a few thousand now in that group. Ooh. I don't know. But so there's multiple times that he's kind of come in and out of my life. And now he's fighting cancer again. But he's still like every day he's traveling. He's still out
Really?
there every day.
I didn't know he had. Oh, okay, I'll be praying for him. Okay, tell me about Willie Jolly though. Is he
Willie?
really that
That what?
high strung? It's Willie Jolly, and I was like, hey, okay, does he ever come down on
So
that
we all just have an on switch. So it depends on what's going on. But yes, the short answer is yes. They're they all of it just like that.
Oh.
And they're from the old school speaker trainings where you really had to be a people person. It wasn't social media. You had to interact with people and connect with people. And so like they have a 3-foot rule. If you come within 3 feet of them, they're going to speak to you.
Right.
And you're going to be in a conversation whether or not you want to or not. That's it. So absolutely, his wife Dee, wonderful. I've actually been praying for a woman who could kind of mentor me or be there for in an advisory role, somebody who was strong enough and well versed in this field enough. And then I did some more training with Willie and his wife at their house. They actually live in DC.
Oh, really?
Wow. And she's phenomenal. Wow, she's the firecracker.
Well, I watched him they were on YouTube.
Yeah, they have I think it's Tuesdays with the Jollies or Mondays with a relationship.
Yeah,
because they've been married for many, many years. He's also a doctorate. He has an earned doctorate in ministry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I just often wondered. I was like, is he always that high strung? Oh my goodness, he make me tired. Oh my God!
Yeah, he doesn't stop.
No,
he does not stop. He's
wow.
He's on the move. Yeah.
I'm gonna start hanging on to your coattails so you can take me
roll with us.
And do some things. But let's talk about you for a minute. And I know that
we've been doing this whole time.
We've been kind of skipping around the barn, but let's talk about you and your bats with depression.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I do know that there are people who that was a burning question that I got texted.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that they probably want to know how to handle what they're going through, because the text said, because we get rejected a lot, and a lot of people don't know how to accept us the way we are. So, what would you say?
The issue is not to deal with the situation; it's to deal with your conversation about the situation. See, we can both go through the exact same thing at the exact same time. And what you tell yourself about what happened and what I tell myself about what happened can be two totally different things.
Right.
And you can go forth as though nothing ever occurred and okay, I processed it. It is what it is. I'm moving on with my life. And somebody else, why is that happening to me all the time? Every time I turn around, something is, and they've created this entire narrative that is real because perception is reality. That's their perception of it. So it's absolutely real for them. And whatever your perception of it was absolutely real for you. Again, it ties into how we don't teach the communication process amongst each other, how we interact with each other. So we're not talking about how to control the conversation in our head. Right. You can come out the house, bam, looking dope. And I'm like, man, I love that dress. And you stood in the mirror for 2 hours. Oh my God, I don't care what, so fat, so ugly, so this, so that. I need to change. And you change 200 times to end up with the same dress you had on at first. That was perfectly fine. But the conversation in your head told you that you're inadequate. This isn't going to look right. They're not going to accept me. I'm not going to look right on social media. Somebody take a picture. I don't want to take any Instagram. But it's just the whole conversation. That's how anxiety plays in. People are anxious about what if they're not going to. You live in the future. What if this is going to happen? That's going to happen, and you just create this emotional kind of whirlwind. And depression is kind of the, it's the, I just accept and receive and sink into and own and wrap yourself in all the emotions. And it's a training process within oneself to be able to control those thoughts and say, okay, this one isn't logical. I'm having it, but I can't own it because then I'm going to go into this anxiety fit. Okay, this one isn't going to make me productive. yes, I want to lay in my bed under my covers and want to just let time pass, but that means nothing's gonna get done. And I got a child that needs to eat.
Right.
And then you begin to control, deal with, analyze each individual one thought at a time. And it's by conscious choice and deliberate action. It is not gonna happen by just by, I'm with medication, I'm for therapy, I'm for anything that works. But until you do the work too,
Right.
you're just
Right.
going to continue to mask symptoms with those things.
Yeah, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a sore. And
you can sit with a therapist, with a counselor, with a pastor. They can talk you through it. You're going to leave them and go home at some point.
Yeah.
And you got to deal with yourself and those thoughts. So you got to do the work every single day.
So is it about dealing with oneself?
It is about dealing with oneself. I mean, the situations are the situations. If you don't have any money, if you broke up with somebody again, and I mean, those are situations you can make a choice whether to save your money, get another job. You can make a choice whether to stay with that person. Now, those are choices that can be made and take care of the situation.
Right. Right.
But what you tell yourself about it
is something different.
That's completely different.
Something totally
different. And that's where
different.
Those things like depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts, that's where they live in that conversation when everybody else leaves from.
Right. Right. Wow. So you have to pretty much take charge of your thoughts.
Yep.
And your thought pattern and how you think it and what. So how are you coming along with it?
It's not easy.
Yeah,
I struggle every day. I had a few recent really hard hits. Some family members that passed away. Mm-hmm. One of them, my godmother, really hit me hard because I didn't know she was struggling with breast cancer since like 2012, and she didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
And so I didn't find out until she was in the hospital, and by the end of that week, she was gone. So I was devastated.
Yeah.
I'm still reeling from it. And so, you'll enter a room or you'll go into a family situation and you see where she would have sat and everything just comes rushing back and you got to have that conversation. Step to the side. Listen, we both have pastor that said, if you cry, you go ahead and cry, but don't cry past. Don't cry past Tuesday. Listen, you give yourself, let yourself feel what you have to feel, but it's with the intent of processing it, having a conversation that, okay, now it's time that we got to get back to work. We got to get back to being effective. What do we need to do to ensure that takes place? So
it would be like a healing process for yourself
but it's a daily thing.
I think everything is a daily routine, and how you, like you said, how you handle it makes it even better.
But we don't tell people that. We say this is gonna fix you. Go to church, you'll be all right.
No,
take a medicine, take this pill, you'll be okay. We don't want to. Listen, every day you wake up, you got to do this.
Yes.
You want to keep them 20 pounds off. Every day you wake up, you got to do this.
Yes.
You want to make sure your business is successful. Every time you wake up, you got to do this.
Yes.
You want to keep your mind right and not lose it to depression and anxiety. Every day you wake up, you got to do this.
Yeah, you got. And I tell people, like when I go out and minister, I tell people all the time, it's okay not to be okay.
Right.
It's okay. You're not going to be.
Because who defined okay?
Right. So it's okay not to be okay. I wrote that in my book. It's okay not to be okay because you don't. Who are you to predict if you're going to be okay or not? So you really don't know, and you just going on you.
Yeah.
And you have to. I think that I think the fact that you even put it out there for public knowledge, I commend you for that, because a lot of people, they don't want you to see the inter me. They want you to see what's here, but they don't want to see what's inter me. And then sometimes the inter me is the problem.
It is.
Because people are like, no, you're the problem. No, sweetie, you're in here is the problem, because you walk around like nothing's ever wrong with you. But like I taught Bible study Tuesday. And I have this thing about people hugging me. And it's something that I know I need to work through, but there are certain people I don't want to hug. No. And so
it's just communication.
Yeah.
It's okay to say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with that. I love you. Develop your own fist pump. Hey, high five. This is church culture, man. Everybody elbow the person next to you instead of hug. It's okay.
And I said that, and it was just funny because I said that, and some of the faces were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, and it's probably something that I need to deal with, but it's not there. You know what I'm saying? It's just not there. And then there are a lot of little things that I don't like, but that's just when, and that's just how, and that's why I say it's
I don't like
okay
my
not
daughter
to be
leaving
okay.
socks on the floor. It drives me crazy.
Listen,
I
Linda.
cannot stand it. Like everything else in the house can be a hot mess. Why are these socks on the floor? I mean, that's just everybody has something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you have to have conversations with the people who are intimate in your circle so that they understand your norms and they can accept them or reject them. And that doesn't mean that they're accepting or rejecting you. That's just they have to create the norms for themselves as well. We all are in these different processes that overlap, and it's okay. But when it comes to depression, every day you got to do the work.
Yeah.
And also, in addition to making sure you do talk to a therapist or a counselor or a pastor, or you do talk to a medical professional in case there's a chemical imbalance, all those things I absolutely advocate. But without the internal work, it's not gonna do. And I have a support group on Facebook, Victory Over Depression. It's a page that you're more than welcome to join, follow, and like.
Yeah, I just wow. Okay, I love my Denise. I promise you, I love her to life, guys. Well, wow, that was so good.
Can I give all my plugs?
You can do you can do whatever you like. Buy it.
The mic. It's one of several. They're on my website, denisehill.com. I also have a podcast, The Denise Hill Experience, where I've had like 30 years worth of interviews with all types of folks. And I've just been releasing them one by one.
Really?
So, yeah, I just did one with Kelly Price, released one with Kelly Price last week. I've been holding on to my one with Israel for some reason.
Why?
That's just a heart thing, man. That's my brother.
Oh,
and I asked him about
Israel.
it. I hit him up because there was a comment that he made in one where his purpose was to cover the earth. He just kept seeing the Sherwin-Williams globe with the paint dripping out. He's like, that's what you're supposed to cover the earth. So I asked him, I was like, you said that in the interview, man. Do you feel like you did it? He said, I'm trying.
Wow. I want to hear that one. I need you to loose that one.
Anyway, this podcast, again, everything is through denisehill.com.
So who else stuck with you on the interviews?
Fred.
I love Fred.
I talked to Fred after 9/11, and he it was at a time when he was just going through some stuff. And again, perception, right, is reality. He was like, listen, those towers came down, but people have towers in their life coming down all the time. He said, my friend, 30 years old, just diagnosed with colon cancer, towers coming down. He just started listing stuff, towers coming down. I'm like, man.
Wow. Well,
that's up now. That Fred Hammond one is
I'm going to go on over there and
experience.
see what the end going to be, because there's some folk I want to interview. But we're not out of word, but we're out of time. The conversation was great. I love you, Denise.
I love you more. Thank you for having me.
I usually do Gwen's intentional moments the last few minutes, but I'm going to let you do the intentional moments. It's where I say Gwen's intentional moments are be intentional about the love of God.
Oh, wow. Am I saying Gwen's or Denise's? Our intentional moments are.
Hey, it'll work.
Speak life. Speak life to your situation. Speak life to yourself. Speak life to your future. Speak life to your children. Speak life, speak life, speak life. Control what comes out your mouth. You might think it. Don't give it flesh and bones by speaking it. Speak life to everything. And I promise you'll see something different.
Wow. And those are the intentional moments. Be intentional. God's arms are always open to you. Run in, because he's waiting for you. His arms are open wide and he loves you. And wow. Thank you, Denise, for coming. I appreciate it. This has been the Intentional Radio Show. Thank you for joining us. If you want to go back and look at the replay, I would suggest that you do. I would encourage you to do that. We talked about Denise's life. We talked about Denise. We talked about management. We talked about life coach. She's my life coach now, y'all. And we talked about life coaching. Go to our website.
Denise Hill, and on social media, be Denise Hill. Follow me, like me, share me, all that.
Yeah, follow her, like her, share her, push her, encourage her. And just be who you are. But I encourage you to share this program for today, because it's been most helpful for me. I got blessed. So And I'm supposed to be blessing her, and she blessed me on how you come to my show and bless me on my show. What is that? All right, we're out of time, not out of word. Thank you for watching the Intentional Radio broadcast, and we will see you again soon. Have a good weekend. Be safe, everybody. Much love. God bless. Bye. Deuces.
Thank you for having me.
This was great. Oh my God, I can't tell you the lessons that I have just learned from you. This is Vicky says towers are coming down. I enjoy the show. Thank you, Miss Vicky.
Thank you, Miss Vicky.
All right, see everybody. Thank you, Billy, for coming. Oh my God, you know who that is, right? Mickens.
Hey,
Billy.
How you doing?
Oh my God. Thanks for watching, Terry. Hi, Ma Jones, Melissa. Hi, ladies. We talk ourselves out of so much. We just have to do much better to take just yes, amen. We do. We really do. And I'm sorry I didn't get to questions, but the conversation was just so deep. Saying, yep, start fishing in another pond. Thank you. We'll start fishing in another pond. I love it. Tavares, remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went back. Jeez. We went back. Oh, Pastor Unia. Thank you, honey. Oh my gosh. Thanks everybody for coming on Facebook. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye. Wow, that was so good. Oh my God. I loved it.
Like, have to hurry up and you got another show now?
And nobody comes in after me, which is a good thing. I'll make some comments later. Thank you.
Thank you,
my
Chloe.
God. I learned so much today about me. Yeah. I learned a lot about me.